bum, bum. Hey, everybody. I'm going to be listening to the vote with you. Whoops. I wonder if you can hear me. Anybody there? 7 people. Well, I'm just going to be listening to the vote, which just died on my phone. Maybe I'm not going to be listening to it. The moment I turned it on, my source for this died. So let's see if I can get it back. You're going to have to listen to it yourself because I can't. Oh, there we go. So they're just reading the charges right now. The votes will be in a moment. I'm not going to be talking too much. Just be drawing my comic. God, Lee is like 1,000 years old. It's kind of exciting. 3-4. I love how exciting this is. If it's 4-4, now it's 5-4. Now it's 5-5. This couldn't be better. Oh, guilty 12, not guilty 6. Mr. Creepo. It's so predictable. We should just ask them what their party is. Guilty. Romney. Romney votes. Romney votes guilty. Well, nobody named Scott thinks he's guilty. There are a lot of senators I've never heard of. Thune. I love that there's a senator named White House. Well, I suppose there wasn't much doubt about where this was going. I guess it could have taken a negative turn, but it ended up just the way we thought it would go. Now, are there going to be any riots because of this? You know, prior to any of this, I thought that it would be a mistake for Trump to run for re-election. But specifically because they tried to impeach him for this, maybe he should. Maybe he should. The strangest thing that we learned from all of this is that the media is stronger than the president. Wouldn't you say we learned that? Because I would say that the media removed the president. If they had not created the environment that they had, I don't think he would have been removed. So now that the most powerful person in the country, allegedly, the president, has been shown to be less powerful than the press and the news-making part of the business, the opinion people, what would be his best play? His best play would be to go into competition in the news and opinion business because he would have more power than he would as president. The president has to bow to the will of the people. Who do the will of the people bow to? Whoever does the best job of brainwashing. So right now, the business or the model of our country is that the press decides what the policy will be. They brainwash the public, And then when the polls show that the public is on one side or another, the politicians sort of have to follow that, or at least follow what their base wants them to do. So any thought that what's happening is that politicians are making decisions and then implementing them based on their wisdom is not exactly what's happening. It's more like the fake news creates opinions, they assign them to the public. The public then forms, a polled opinion that is one way or the other, and then the politician has to follow it to get reelected. So the press is running things. Would Trump want to take a second position, meaning being president again, when he can have a first position and be in the news business? Because don't you feel like his odds of succeeding in the news business would be close to 100%, right? I mean, you'd have to do something quite wrong for him to fail in the news opinion business, because he knows everybody. He could get plenty of people to show up. It would be interesting. He knows how to put on a show. Could be a good move if he builds his network now. But I do love the fact, that he still has the option of running. Just because it makes everything, it just makes everything more interesting when he's at least potentially still in the game. So I don't think he should run. It would be a mistake in my opinion. But it's nice that it's out there. I like that he didn't lose the right. I think that was more important than whether he runs or not. What kind of network could have TDS as its initials? So it's not Trump Derangement Syndrome. It'd be like the Trump Data Service or something. That's right. We all were acquitted. We all who might have been associated with supporting Trump at any time. Yeah, but you were only acquitted by Republicans, for what it's worth, and not even all the Republicans. That was probably, the impeachment trial was maybe the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a long time, because there were no rules of behavior, pure lying, ridiculous stuff. But what was my favorite part of the whole process? It was today when Van der Veen referred to the Fine People hoax as, did you hear that? He actually called it the Fine People hoax. He actually used the word hoax. I think that's the first time that the lawyers called it a hoax. And I like to think that I might have been some small part of bringing that to the, let's say, at least branding it and bringing it to the attention. Now, of course, most valuable players have been Steve Cortez, Joel Pollack, Greg Gutfeld, and I and they and lots of others have done what we can to tweet about this and boost it. And so if it made a difference, I feel like I had a really good day today. I don't know about you, but it feels like a good day. And I'm not going to complain about the fact that the stocks are up under the Biden administration. I'll find plenty of other things to complain about, but if stocks stay high, I'm not going to complain about that. All right. It's a strange kind of victory, isn't it? I'm not sure it's a real victory, but it's the opposite of losing. At least if you didn't want to be part of associating with somebody who got impeached and removed. But impeached twice is some kind of a record, right? Is that the record? Does Trump hold the record for most number of impeachments while having no removal from office? I think the Democrats have made impeachment just ridiculous now. Just ridiculous. So I was saying during the trial that once the Trump defense had debunked in front of the whole world the Fine People hoax, isn't that grounds for impeachment for Biden? Completely serious. All right? With it, without trying to like make a point, without trying to make this purely argumentative, serious question. If inciting violence is the standard for, according to Democrats, a standard for impeachment, if Republicans said, let's try that out, and they tried to impeach Biden for basing his campaign, the moral heart of his campaign was fighting against the Charlottesville situation, which we now know, I mean, we knew it long ago, but others are just learning it, was never real. That the president, in fact, had condemned the neo-Nazis and white nationalists in direct language at that time without being prompted. And until you saw the rest of the video, you didn't know that. So now the country knows it. So now that the country knows the Fine People hoax was a hoax, I feel as if it's somewhat clearly obvious that that caused violence. The belief that this president had ever called neo-Nazis fine people, which we know now didn't happen, that had to make people more worked up during summer riots, etc. It had to make an effect. And so I would say that in all fairness,